So, you're a small business and you want to start bidding on government contracts, but you don't know where to start. Or maybe you watched my TikTok video where I showed you how to register your business to be eligible for government contracts. Well, today I'm going to do something a little bit different than my normal EDC, and I'm going to talk about business. Well, today I'm going to walk you through exactly what I think you should be doing if you want to bid on government contracts. You can take it or leave it, but just to give you my resume, I guess, is I've been a federal employee, I've been a government contractor, and I've been a contracting officer for the government, meaning I was one of a few people who actually got to select businesses to fulfill contracts. So without further ado, let's get into it. When I say government contracts, I mean both federal and state level opportunities. State can also be broken down into county and city, and that distinction really matters because of where the money is coming from. So state contracts are funded by state taxes, county contracts by county taxes, and so on. Each level has its own pot of money and its own procurement system. If you're trying to bid on county or city contracts, those are usually listed on completely separate websites, often called e-procurement portals. The easiest way to find them is to Google your state or county name, plus the words like e-procurement site or vendor registration.
Dude, were you just doing air quotes?
And make sure it ends in .gov, that is. That's how you know it's legitimate. For federal contracts, everything is centralized through the website sam.gov, which stands for the System for Award Management. This is the official U.S. government site for all federal procurements. Every company that wants to do business with the federal government must register in SAM. It's free, and you'll need a Unique Entity ID, or UEI, which replaced the old DUNS number, or DUNS. Once you're registered, you can view and bid on active federal opportunities, often called solicitations. Each federal agency, like the Department of Defense, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Veterans Affairs, post their contracts there. But you can filter by agency, location, or NAICS code. Now let's talk about NAICS codes because you'll see that term a lot. NIACS is what I'm going to call them, stands for North American Industry Classification System. It's how the government classifies your business type. For example, IT services have codes starting with 5415, construction might be under 236, and janitorial services under 5617. When you register in SAMS, you'll need to pick at least one NIAC code that best fits your primary line of business, though most companies have several. You'll also want to make sure your small business size matches the Small Business Administration size standards for your chosen NIAC code. You can look these up on sba.gov/size standards. This is how the government decides if you're officially considered a small business.
Index size matters.
Now, don't limit yourself to your home state. Many government contracts cross state lines, especially in regional or multi-state areas. For example, a federal contract based in New York might also include work in New Jersey or Connecticut. So always check the place of performance listed on the solicitation. If you're in a neighboring state, you might still qualify, but you'll need to ensure your business licenses and insurance meet local requirements in every state you'll perform work. When you start browsing these websites, you'll see all kinds of opportunities, some for $10,000 and other for $10 million. And your eyes might get big and you might start thinking like that's life-changing money. But here's the truth. If you're running a small business from your home or you're just starting out, you're really not ready to bid on $1 million contracts yet. At least most of you might not be. And that's okay. Because if you do bid and you can't perform on time or to standard, the government can terminate the contract for default, and that leaves a permanent mark on your company's records in CPARS, which stands for Contractor Performance Assessment Reporting System. CPARS is basically your government report card. Bad performance there can make it extremely difficult to win future contracts. So start small and focus on performing perfectly.
But sometimes you have to start small to go big.
Now let's go over a few key terms you're going to see all of the time. First, RFI. That's a request for information. This is when the government is conducting market research usually. They're trying to figure out how many vendors exist, what service costs, and what's possible. It's not a bid, it's just data collection. For example, an agency might issue an RFI asking what would it cost to provide plumbing support for 6 buildings. You respond with your general pricing and capabilities. Other companies will do the same. The government uses that information to build their budget and determine how to structure the upcoming solicitation. Next is RFP, a request for proposal. This is the real deal. This is when the government has finished its research and is ready to award a contract. You'll submit a formal proposal explaining how you'll meet every requirement along with your price and timeline. Sometimes the RFP is for a recompete, meaning the contract already exists, but it's expiring soon, and by law, the government must open it up again for competition. There's some nuance here with small businesses, but that's generally what that means for recompetes. There's also RFQ, or request for quotation, which is usually for smaller purchases under what's called the simplified acquisition threshold, typically $250,000. RFQs are faster and less formal, but they're still very competitive. If something in the solicitation isn't clear, you can submit what's called a clarification request, often referred to as an RFI, during the solicitation. It's your right to ask for clarification on confusing sections, technical requirements, or pricing structures. The government then posts all official answers publicly in an amendment so that every vendor has the same information. Now, when bidding on state or city contracts, pay close attention to the instructions. Many of them require a mandatory pre-bid meeting or Q&A session. If it says mandatory and you don't attend, your proposal will automatically be disqualified. You'll also see terms like prime contractor and subcontractor. The prime is the company directly awarded the contract by the government. The subcontractor, or sub, is hired by the prime to help perform the work. The government pays the prime and the prime pays the subs. The contract might also require that a certain percentage of the work be done by small businesses, women-owned businesses, or service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses, or SDVOSB. Those are called set-asides, and they're a great way for small businesses to break into the contracting world. So here's a quick example. Let's say the government awards a contract for plumbing services and budgets $100,000 per plumber per year. This is like a support contract of sorts. You're the prime, and you only have 2 plumbers on staff or that are available for the contract, but you need 4. You subcontract the other 2 through another small business. Maybe you pay your subcontractor $80K per plumber. That difference covers your management costs, compliance requirements, and profit margin, so everyone gets paid fairly and the work gets done. Now, if you're new to government contracting, here's my advice. Start as a subcontractor. That's the best way to learn without taking on all of the risk. You'll get familiar with the language, the process, and how billing, compliance, and audit works. Now, if you're new to government contracting, here is my advice. Start as a subcontractor. That's the best way to learn without taking on all of the risk. You'll get familiar with the language, the process, and how billing, compliance, and audits work. You still need to register on the same websites as the primes, like sam.gov, so you need to see who's winning contracts. Once you see that a company just won something in your field, reach out to them. Send an email to their small business liaison or procurement contact and say something like, "Hi, I saw your company was awarded the XYZ contract. My business provides these specific services, and I'd love to support you as a subcontractor. Here is my capability statement." That document, a capability statement, is a 1-page summary of your company's core competencies, past performances, certifications, and contact info. Keep it clean, clear, and updated. It's not a brag sheet, just exactly what your company does and how it does it well. You can also visit the SBA subnet portal, which is sba.gov/subnet. It lists active subcontracting opportunities from large primes looking for small business partners. And here's another insider tip. If you want to see what contracts are already awarded and how much they're worth, check out usaspending.gov or fpds.gov. That's the Federal Procurement Data System. These sites show you who won and how much they're being paid and what the contract covers. So here's what I recommend you do this week if you're ready. Step 1, register on sams.gov and get your UEI. That's your ticket to eligibility. Step 2, get your NIA code and verify your small business status on sba.gov. And that means registering as a veteran-owned business and whatever else. Step 3, create a capability statement that you can send to primes and attach to proposals. Step 4, start browsing sam.gov for RFIs. Even if you're not ready to bid, responding to a few will help you learn the process and get your business name in front of contracting officers. Step 5, research awarded contracts on usaspending.gov and make a list of primes in your field. Then reach out to 3 of them, just to introduce your company and to introduce yourself and offer support. A few more quick facts to help you avoid any rookie mistakes. Always follow the solicitation instructions exactly. Page limits, font sizes, file formats, everything. If they say 12-point Times New Roman and 1-inch margins, they mean it. Don't underprice your bids just to win. If you can't perform at that price, you'll lose money or you'll fail the contract. Always attend mandatory pre-bid meetings and never ignore questions or amendments posted on the solicitation page. Finally, there's something called a CAGE code, which stands for Commercial and Government Entity Code. You'll automatically get it when you register in SAM.gov. This code identifies your business to government systems. You also need to list your banking information in SAM for electronic payments through EFT or electronic funds transfer. The SAM website walks you through all of that. So to recap, register in SAM.gov, get your UEI and your CAGE code, choose your NAIC code, check your SBA size standard, create your capability statement, respond to RFIs, and start reaching out to prime contractors. Don't chase multi-million-dollar contracts right out the gate. Focus on learning, building relationships, and performing flawlessly on small ones.
Flawless in every way.
That's how you build a strong record in CPARs and eventually win your own prime contracts. If you found this helpful, drop a question in the comments so I know what to cover next. Maybe it's proposal writing, pricing strategies, or how to prepare for small business set-asides. Or maybe you just want more EDC videos. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with another small business owner who's ready to grow. See you on the flip side.